swole, velvet in the market like a wolf in a product coat. Payday Friday, paper rain, let it overflow. Flipping every candle, turning charts into a rodeo. Liquidity gymnastics, I'm flipping through the acrobatics. Profit in my pocket got me dancing automatic. Every ticker trembling when I step up charismatic. I'm the sermon on the floor, Wall Street charismatic. Cash talk slicker than a preacher with a fever. Stack it in the rafters, I'm the prophet and the dealer. Turn the bull into a choir when I crack the meter. Friday feeling holy, call me velvet market leader. Good God. Payday Friday. Every trade that I make is a stock split in the sky. Payday Friday. Every loss that you take just inflates my pride. Payday Friday. Come on, Payday Friday. Hear the register sing. Payday Friday. Even Wall Street prays when I enter the ring. Ooh. Listen, bitch. See them try to trade, but I am the trade. Velvet don't bet, velvet dictates fate. Ow. Payday Friday, baby, that's the thing. Every ticker that I touch turn reality from dream. So slide with the king where the candles stay lit. Cause with velvet in the room, every chart look legit. Payday Friday. Woo! Oh, yeah. Payday Friday. Oh, yeah. Payday Friday. Whoa, come on in now. Payday Friday. Now let's make some money.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where it is, yes, in fact, a beautiful Payday Friday. Happy September the 12th to everyone who celebrates. I'm excited because we are once again in that realm of chit-chat and discussing, pontificating upon new all-time highs. And it is more uniquely exciting when I have a lot of money on the line that we will, in fact, keep going higher and higher and higher. So we're going to, I guess, very shortly find out if I'm right or I'm wrong. But right now, the NASDAQ, the Qs are at a new all-time high. The SPY, a hair below a new all-time high. The Russell's going flat, but clearly, slowly but surely coming up to a new all-time high. Bitcoin had a big pop last night, up to 116, coming off a little bit right now, 115, but still better than what we saw yesterday of 114. And obviously, that's the grand picture of it all, but there's some exciting news related to individual equities, such as like what in the world is going on with Tesla, Nvidia, Palantir, Hood, Avago, Oracle. We have a lot to chit-chat about. But before we get into all of that, I would like to remind you that in fact, we do Payday Fridays big here. So it's a giveaway, as we always do. It is free to enter. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. It is pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Today, it is sponsored by Vanquish. We are giving away not one, not two, not three, but 5 different Vanquish accounts. SIMDA-funded options trading. I do options. I do futures. I know right now a lot of the world in the SIMDA-funded, I guess, industry is futures focused, but I know many of you watching prefer to trade options, and that's exactly when Vanquish comes in. With that code Goonie, you will get 20% off, but on top of it, there's no activation fee if you use that code, and also if you are using an advanced options account where you could do like spreads and whatnot, really all of the advanced ones, the reset fees are actually now 50% cheaper. So that's the current deal that's running. So if you want to buy an account, if you want to buy multiple accounts, have at it. Use that code Goonie. But also, just so you know, if you like, retweet, and follow, we will be giving away one of these. So like, retweet, follow. That's all you have to do. Later on today, after the winners are selected, they are going to be reaching out to you. So make sure you follow their account on Twitter so they could DM you, so they could get you set up. But also, since it is a Payday Friday, the 5 people who are selected to win this, we're also going to be doing a marble race later on today. And the winner of that, the fastest marble in all the land, as always, will be getting $150 of cold, hard cash take your wife out on me, take your boyfriend out on me, take the kids out on me. $150 cold hard cash, the fastest marble racer in the land, going down today. So we are giving away accounts, we are giving away cash, and ideally this is all happening in the backdrop of watching that beautiful new all-time high. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And hopefully we can make some tendies today. Now, before we really get into everything that I have prepared for you, if you guys could help a brother out, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. The way the algorithms work on Rumble, the way they work on YouTube, they're all engagement based. So as you guys chat more, as you like, as you turn on your notifications, as you I don't fucking know, share the video with your grandma. It really does help get this show, this channel, this community in front of other people who maybe are just as a little bit messed up in the head as we are. So that's all I would really ask of you. Just like, comment, don't forget to subscribe. And with all that being said, I think it's time to kind of get rocking on the day. Stock futures slipped after big rally this week as Fed decision looms. So yes, I want to be getting into that, but I would actually argue the biggest news of the week actually in no way relates to what is going on in the market. It relates to actually a tragedy, and we have a big update on that. Charlie Kirk shooting, FBI shares person of interest photos, offers $100,000 reward. So apparently this actually really helps. So there's a big update as of last night, and then as of about 30 minutes ago, we have an even bigger update. So I want to go over both of them with you because it looks like finally we caught the absolute deranged, disgusting scumbag who did this.
Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter.
I would keep playing, sorry.
Starting at 11:52 a.m., this subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus.
There's a good chance you saw that video of him, like they had a different camera on like the backside of everything, and he ran and kind of let himself down off the roof. And that's where they got his palm prints, and from there they started tracking him more and more. And that's where the photos started to come out of like, hey, anyone who knows, like, help us out, 100K reward if you identified this individual, and I'll let this keep going.
Into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We're working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media, and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately.
All right, so that was kind of the news as of yesterday, and then they ended up releasing everything, and people started watching it, breaking it down. You could kind of see this here before, if this plays. There he is. There is the, like I said, vile fucking human being who does not deserve to breathe air, in my humble opinion, letting himself off the roof. This is where they got shoe prints. This is where they got palm prints. And you're going to see he just kind of drops. It's kind of a far drop, Jesus. And then from there, well, maybe, nope, runs away. I didn't know if he messed up his leg or anything. So they released that. They released some photos. And then that leads us to actually Trump on the news this morning with this is the most recent breaking news, like I said, as of like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour ago.
Clarification, so a pastor was able to turn him in, or they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way, and his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal, and they took it from there, and then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in, and they... So I understand it, and again, subject to change, but, you know, the facts are the facts. We have the person that we think is the person we're looking for. But they drove into the police headquarters, and he's there now.
Did the father know about what the son had done?
I don't know. I'm going to let you get all those questions later because I can't tell you how accurate. The bottom line is they have somebody that they think did it.
So, Mr. President.
So that was as of this morning. So they're basically saying we're pretty sure we have someone who did it, but obviously they have some reservations of like, we can't say we are 100% sure. So I'm sure throughout the day today, once again, this was this morning that we're probably going to be getting more information. Not necessarily a done deal, but it does seem as if it's getting very, very close to finding this person. And as I just want to remind people, I know we all have different and varying opinions of justice, but I do want to remind you that I believe it was the governor of Utah, because remember, this all happened in Utah, so most likely that's where it's going to be tried, but I'm not a lawyer, so don't take that as gospel. But to my understanding, it'll most likely be tried in Utah. And the day that this happened, the Utah governor did remind the world that as a state, they do still have the death penalty, which I would say is pretty fitting for such an absolute disgusting act. So update there, and I just want to let you know that throughout the day today, there's probably going to be some updates on that. Bringing it back to the overall market and what is happening this Friday, economists see Fed rate cuts next week, at least one more in 2025. So yes, there is some information coming out today, specifically at 10 a.m. We're going to get the Michigan University inflation expectations. So there is technically another inflation report coming out between now and next Wednesday, the 17th, when they do the FOMC decision and announcement at 2 p.m. Eastern. But really all the major things, unemployment rate, CPI, PPI, and PCE for the most recent, it's already out. There's not going to be another one between now and the rate decision. So we are pretty confident of what's going down. As of now, according to Polymarket, an 87% chance of a 25 bips rate cut, and a 50%, or excuse me, for the 50 bips rate cut, there's an 11% chance. According to Kalshi, same thing, 87% chance of a 25 bips rate, 0.25%, and then an 11% chance of a 50 bips rate cut. So basically, we're pretty confident that we're going to be going from 4.25% down to 4%. So we're currently at 4.25. If you look at the Fed Watch tool, especially this is basically the odds by looking at the bond market / yield market, but basically 93% sure over here that it will in fact be a 25 bips rate cut, with a little bit of a chance of a 50 bips rate cut. So that's for the, once again, September 17th meeting. Mark it down next Wednesday. Very, very important. But what I want to really bring to your attention is now what are the odds for the remainder of the year, including September. So basically September, October, December, all three of those months, skipping November, there is an FOMC decision. So we are currently at 4.25%. They're basically saying there's a 1 in 5 shot that we can get to this end of the year staying at a 50 bips rate cut, as in right here, 19% chance, going down to 3.75. So from here, that would be 50 bips. So that article was a little misleading of like, oh, one or more, as in like, oh, maybe just two. In reality, the highest odds is actually 75 bips, as in it's calling for a 25 bips, 25 bips, 25 bips. Now, that is at this current juncture, obviously between now and the end of the year, there's multiple inflation reports, there's multiple jobs reports. We're going to get updates of, are the reciprocal tariffs legal or illegal? There's a lot that could change the game. So please understand that I'm saying this based on the data we have like right now. But basically, there is a very high odds shot that we get a 25 bips rate cut at every single meeting. And there's actually a little bit of a chance of at one of these meeting a 50 bips rate cut. So I just wanted to break down like kind of how this is all setting up. But I want to remind you that this is shifting. And one of the biggest shifting things is kind of what's going on with inflation, which means what's going on with the trade war. China gives Mexico stiff warning over tariffs seen appeasing the U.S. So as all the craziness in the world is playing out, some of it far more important than what's going on in the markets, but even as the craziness in the subsector of the markets and the economy and monetary policy is playing out, I think in a weird way, this quote unquote trade war has kind of taken a backseat. And I just want to remind everyone that, hey, folks, it is still, in fact, 100% going on. China warns Mexico to think twice before raising tariffs, threatens countermeasures. So if you missed it, basically, the U.S., specifically Trump and the administration, are using its influence on other countries to tariff the countries that aren't really playing ball, especially as it involves China, India, and Russia. Mexico plans to raise tariffs on vehicles coming from Asia, particularly China, to 50%. We hope Mexico will be extremely cautious and think twice before acting, China's Ministry of Commerce said in a statement late yesterday. Mexico's auto industry is the country's largest employer, Washington, D.C. based partner, blah, blah, blah. So he's a former ambassador to Mexico and China. So this is all specific, not just to trade, but specifically the auto trade. And once again, it's the U.S. going to Mexico saying, hey, we need you to play more ball with us. And they're putting more pressure on China. China's not happy about it. So just something to pay attention to. Now, drilling down into today specifically, it is important, not massively important, not as big as the PCE, the jobs numbers, or CPI, but I would say it's on the next rung down. We will be getting the 1 year and the 5 year and the consumer expectation / sentiment today at 10 a.m. So 30 minutes into the trading day, we're going to be getting another data drop that you should probably pay attention to. I'll keep this up. We'll go over our boy Rick Santilli will most likely be talking about it, but I just want to let you know, don't be surprised a little bit of a shift and a little bit of potential craziness in the market today. This is a binary event. If you're coming here and saying, Matt, is this going to be bullish? Is it going to be bearish? The God's honest truth is I have no clue. And no one in the world does unless you are part of the team that knows what these numbers are and you know what it's going to report. But then from there, you don't even know how the market's necessarily going to react to it. So I'm just telling you, we have a binary event coming out 30 minutes into the trading day today. It's not the most grand, the most impactful, but it is important nonetheless. So please, 10 a.m., be careful today. Now, with respect to individual equities, we do have some other news. OpenAI realignment to give nonprofit over $100 billion stake. OpenAI said it's closer to converting into a more traditional for-profit company, nearing the resolution of negotiations with top shareholders, Microsoft, and outlining terms of at least $100 billion in equity for the nonprofit arm. So when this came out last night, Microsoft pippity popped. You can see exactly where it got announced. Basically, 17:30 o'clock. Plan changes will give the existing OpenAI nonprofit control over a new public benefit corporation and provide the nonprofit with an equity stake that would make it one of the most well-resourced philanthropic organizations in the world. Remember, there is quite a bit of, I would say, rightfully deserved pushback of this whole thing of, hey, you started off and pitched this idea of you're here for AI and to be a good steward of the development, and you're doing it nonprofit. It's OpenAI because you're giving out your research. You're doing this for the betterment of everyone, but also as we're dealing with potentially a gigantic shift in technology, like AGI would be huge. Remember, maybe it's good that it's quote unquote open so we can all kind of see what's going on. And that's kind of how OpenAI has been going for a while. And now they're like, but wouldn't it be cool if we also made a shitload of money and kind of hid our secrets behind a door and didn't tell the world about it and lined our own pockets as we develop this like truly cultural shifting technology in the way that we seem best? So that's why there's a giant pushback, because everyone's like, well, that's a big switch there. OpenAI is facing opposition to its restructuring from Elon Musk, who accused the startup of defrauding investors about its commitment to its charitable mission. Remember, that's how OpenAI got off the ground. Fuck, Elon Musk was on the board, and he's the one who even named it OpenAI because the entire concept was that it was open. So yeah, there's going to be some clear pushback. As well as from California, Delaware attorneys general who are reviewing the company's proposed financial and governance changes. So maybe they're able to pull it off, maybe they aren't, but obviously this announcement having quite an impact on Microsoft, going from 501 all the way up to 514 at one point, which remember, that's a big move for the world's second biggest company? Like when the world's second biggest company goes up 2.6%, remember how many billions of dollars that is adding to the overall net worth of the company. So that is kind of some news. Also somewhat related, Nvidia and OpenAI to back major investment in UK AI infrastructure. Nvidia and OpenAI are discussing a sizable deal to support data center development in the UK. It is expected to be unveiled next week during US President Donald Trump's state visit to the UK. So maybe the whole Stargate project, or is it Project Stargate? Whatever the hell the name of that is, kind of in that realm of like, we're building up a lot of infrastructure, we're helping out these tech companies, that type of a deal. Governments around the world have been courting major US players in a bid to boost their own national infrastructure. So just want to kind of put Nvidia back on your radar. Remember, it is the leader it's just the biggest company in the world for a good reason. Jensen Huang, there's a reason he is a multi-billionaire, because Nvidia clearly this year, and probably, I don't know, for a couple of years now, with this pop in AI, has been, by definition, the belle of the ball. Someone is saying a 9 a.m. press conference by the FBI, as in it started 20 minutes ago. If anyone has the link on that, please share it, get it to the producer, get it somewhere where we could put it up. But are you saying it already started, or are we in different time zones? Folks, if we're talking on this show, let's just keep everything in East Coast time. Let's keep it in East Coast time. It's going to make everyone's life a little bit easier because that's where the market is based. Very quick reminder, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It's 100% free. No one's ever had to pay for it. You're never going to have to pay for it. It is free. Free. Every single Sunday to your email inbox, you're going to get a breakdown of what's going on in the market, cheat sheet for earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events, and probably most useful is the seasonality of each individual day, which brings me to today, Friday, September the 12th. Historically, over the past 27 years, the Bulls have won this day 57% of the time, as in the Bulls have a 7% edge. You can see here's a look at the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought it open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market. You could see it started off a little rough, but ever since the first 5 years into it, basically for the past 2 decades, slowly but surely we are trending up. Now, is this the most bullish day we've ever seen? No, but it does slightly favor the Bulls. So I just want to keep you kind of aware of that overall situation, which now brings me back to the overall market. Remember, seasonality is not the end all be all, so we should probably dive into what is happening today. Well, congrats. The Bulls are in control. We hit an all-time high yesterday. 6,592.89. Dingity ding ding ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. The S&P 500, new record high. The Bulls, as they always tend to do in any sizable time frame, they won again. No other way to dice it up besides the fact that the Bulls are absolutely dominant. Higher highs, higher lows. You have bullish momentum, prices above all the EMAs. Like when you're at an all-time high, how are you not bullish? I mean, that's pretty evident. Similar situation now with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ officially did hit a new all-time high yesterday. If you look at the small cap sector, we are looking really good. Very strong higher highs, higher lows, strong momentum, strong options flow. But I want to let you know we're not at an all-time high. The all-time high is in November of 2024. So that, if you're playing the Russell, that's specifically what I'm watching is like, okay, are we going to be able to take this out? And then I also want to bring to your attention Bitcoin, which had a solid night last night. It's starting to give some of it back right now, but I'm hoping it just can create a higher low, bounce off of 115 and take out 116. I would love to see that 117 level. So that's kind of like the larger, I guess, situation. Let me go back to the daily here. I do want to give you some of the key levels I'm watching today. So if you happen to be trading the overall market, this is something I do in the Discord, a little bit of a morning breakdown, but pretty much you could see here, as I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white line, high, low, close. The white box is the transition zone from the perspective of market makers looking at the gamma and delta levels. This is basically choppiness. Above it, consider it to be bullish. Below it, consider it to be bearish. And within it, consider it to be, that's exactly it, a choppy transition zone. And then the final thing on the screen are these yellow lines, which are just key open interest levels. So for me, I'll basically be looking, can we recapture the close and can we hold and recapture the high and the close from yesterday? From there, the first evident test is 6,600. I'm being mindful of a potential overshoot by a little bit that gets rejected. So I'm watching 6,615. And then from there, my major target of the day is 6,640. If you're curious about how I got those levels, well, it's because I have eyeballs that work and I can see where all these major levels are. So you can see that we have a big player at 6,640. You can see the gamma on the 0 DTE as of this morning will be negative above 6,680, leading us to a potential test of 6,600. From there, a big node is at 6,615. So basically, I just have eyeballs and then I look at the key levels that the big players are like positioning themselves at, and then I mark it on the chart. So that would be the bull case. Obviously, my reach target would be up here at 6,650. But once again, my real target in mind is a nice break and hold at 6,600, lack of a rejection at 6,615, and then I'm looking for 6,640. That is my bull case scenario. That is the scenario I care about today. Now, if you happen to be bearish, You're going to be wanting a failure at 87, yesterday's close, a fall to 570, and then that's the start of the transition zone, a push to 550, and then maybe watching 654.0 because that's going to be the bottom of the transition zone. And if for some reason there's a huge amount of profit taking today, you could look for a puke out of that, probably down to 6510. So bull case, bear case, I want to let you know I'm only looking for the bull case. I am positioned for the bull case, but as always, you should be prepared in both directions, especially as an active trader. And remember, a lot of this can get pretty wild at 10 a.m. because don't forget, we have some of those announcements coming out at 10 a.m. All right, so a couple other things. Yeah, we're looking pretty strong. The Qs are set to open at a new all-time high. The SPY is set to open in the green. The Russell is holding. Bitcoin's taking a little bit of a hit. The other ones that are pretty exciting right now, Tesla. We did a big deep dive on this yesterday. Remember how I told you if Tesla can get above 77, ooh, there's a lot of caps there. That was a little crazy. Sorry if anyone gets offended by an excessive amount of capital letters. But remember yesterday how we were talking about the 775 level? Well, that's kind of disappeared because new plays have come in. So this is the new battle right here. You can see there's a little bit of a spread going on, and more specifically, I'll break this down. You can see someone has actually bought puts at 65 and sold calls at 70. So the structure has completely changed from yesterday to today. So I just want to bring that up. I think that's very, very important. But it kind of goes like this. If old TSLA, if it can hold 370, then we're kind of watching still, it's moved up 5 points. 75 to actually 10 points. It's a weird straddle now. So it's okay. Like if we can hold this as support at 70, 370, then we're looking from 75 to 85. And then from there, there's a massive bet at 400. I, with the Discord yesterday, did a little bit of a deeper dive into where this 400 is structured. And unfortunately, there's not one unique expiration date. It's basically the monthly for September, October, November, December, January. There's a lot of people playing the 400 strike at every monthly expiration, so it's not one specific one. On the flip side, if it cannot hold 70, 68 right here, look for a fall back to 55. Once again, those are all the levels for Tesla, which I know is right now getting quite a bit of attention. So I just wanted to break that down just because overnight, obviously, on the pop right here, people were watching 72, 75. So I think it's worth a place on your watch list, but I mean, after a nice 6% gain, I'm hoping it can keep going and going and going. All right, let me get this to the 1 minute. Let's get everyone prepped on the day, or I feel like I did get you prepped on the day. With respect to SPY levels and Q levels, I wrote them all down. You might want to write these down. On the SPY, you care about 656. If that can hold, we have a real shot at 659. If we can break above 659, you are looking at 661. Those are the levels for SPY. With respect to the Qs, you are looking for 583 to hold. If 583 can hold, we are looking at 588. And past that, our reach target would be 594. Once again, that is for QQQ. And if you happen to be playing the small cap sector, IWM, you are looking for 240 to hold. From there, you're looking for 242. If we could take that out, it would be then 247. And then the reach target, once again, for swing trading would be 250. So those are your levels for SPY, QQQ, and IWM. Write them down, use them, don't use them. I don't care. It's not my money. It's your money. I'm not your mom, and I'm definitely not in charge of your money. So today, the setup for the day is, yes, you have this binary event coming out. Hang on, where's Palantir at? 65. Where's Hood at? That's getting hit. Meta. Well, we could put up Microsoft. That was a nice pop. 1%. Avago, Nvidia. We'll put up Palantir, I guess. I know there's a lot of Palantir fans in here. All right, so the setup for the day is coming into this, the bulls are in control. You have higher highs and higher lows, so you have bullish price structure, you have bullish price momentum, and you also have bullish options flow. Bullish, 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 like pretty much across the board. The bulls are in control. So I think that's reasonable to have your own bias then as bullish. At least the way I see the market, it would make more sense to be bullish if everything is appearing to be bullish. But I do want to remind you that it's not written in stone, especially with that 10 a.m. announcement. So be careful about, as we've been seeing for days in a row now, profit taking at open, and be careful about maybe profit taking just because it's the end of the week, and also be mindful of the fact that we have some big stuff going now next week as it relates to that FOMC meeting. So those are all things I would recommend keeping in your mind. Obviously, I have the post and pre-market high and low on NQ. We have all these key levels on SPX. That's what we'll be watching. And before that bell goes dingity ding ding ding, don't forget to like, retweet, and follow for your chance at one of these free giveaway accounts on Vanquish, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And also on top of that, these 5 competitors will then be in the marble race for $150 of cold hard cash, going down around 10:30 today. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, the Nasdaq just hit a new all-time high. Yes, sirree, Bobo. Tesla is doing its thing. I have Tesla plays. How is my Tesla play looking? Dude, I'm fucking making money on Tesla. Come on, update. I'm waiting for it to update. Come on. What was the last price? I'm in at 822. It's trading at 17, so I'm up over 100%. I'm up 120% on this bad mamma jamma, 14.7. I love it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Tesla, keep going. I also happen to be in the overall market. I happen to be in Palantir. I happen to be in Bitcoin. The ones that are doing the best for me right now are the overall market in Tesla. Palantir's break even. Oh, I need the Russell to keep going. I don't like it going red. 240. It almost had that nice breakout. 240. I need this thing to keep pippity popping, or I need to roll it or something. But whatever the intraday high is on the Nasdaq, that is going to be the new all-time high. As always, be mindful of this downside gap fill. Those are very high odds plays. It basically just got it. So if you play that, congrats to you. Those are very high odds plays, as I said. We've been noticing some choppiness for the first half hour, especially over the past 2 to 3 weeks, where it seems like the first half hour is just absolute trash to play. So just keep that in mind. Maybe we do have a good opportunity early on today. I would argue yesterday one of the best opportunities to go long was between 9:45 and 9:50, and then you could just basically have ridden that to the end of the day. But for right now, remember, we're only 1 minute into the day. I have the options data. We'll check that out. We're going to see how it is or isn't updating. Of course, I have Bookmap as well. We're going to see where people, looks like right now a lot of people are trying to sell at 24,065, and then a lot of people are attempting to buy all the way down here at 25. So those are the major heat maps from the DOM, the depth of market sitting above us. These highlights up here are sitting sell orders, passive sell orders, and below us are passive buy orders. So above is selling, below is buying. Those are sitting passive orders, as in not filled. And then when you see these bubbles, that's that's orders getting filled, but the red bubbles are aggressive selling. The green bubbles are aggressive buying. It's denoted by basically who traversed the spread, who didn't have patience, who went across the spread to buy, hitting the ask. That is aggressive buying. And then obviously the exact opposite is aggressive selling, when the seller traverses the bid and traverses the spread and sells at the bid. So it kind of gives you an idea of who the impatient party is, who is the aggressive party. So these are actual orders going through, while the highlights over here are the sitting orders waiting to get a fill. They might get a fill, they might not get a fill, they could add to it, they could pull it, they can change it, they could do whatever they want, because they're just sitting passive orders. So we'll be able to track that throughout the day. Obviously, we're going to be looking at the options flow. I have my fingers crossed. I'm hopeful that we don't have profit taking as much as we've seen recently, because in reality, I want to see this test right here. I want to see the test of 6,600. And then from there, I don't want it to be a fake out. I want it to go up to the next level at 6,615. And then from there, my reach target on the day is 6,640. That's my plan. Maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. I already gave you earlier today kind of the entire breakdown of what I would be expecting if this ends up becoming a bearish day, basically a failure to 6,570. We get trapped in the transition zone, maybe 6,550, 6,540, and probably stuck within that for the day. So that would be more of my bear case, which I am not looking to execute upon. I go over it just because I think it's good to know how the bulls are thinking. I think it's good to know how the bears are thinking. But in reality, well, that doesn't seem right. Oh, wait, that was yesterday. So the high yesterday came at 355. Interesting. So the high rate here is 92.89. Obviously, I want a recapture of 87, a push to 93, and then a push to 6,600. On the first attempt, maybe even the first couple attempts, I do expect failure there. When you come to such an important technical, psychological, and open interest level, it is more common than not that on the first attempt or couple attempts, it is rejected. Now, it's not impossible for us to break through on attempt number one. I'm just saying that's more of a rarity. It's more of a outlier than the normal case. As of right now, the Mag 7, a little bit of profit taking. As of right now, the SPY slightly trending up. Taking a peek at the NASDAQ, actually kind of trending down. Tesla is kind of flat. Nvidia down, but now kind of up. Palantir completely flat. Microsoft flat. Apple flat. Netflix flat. MSTR actually just got a bid. Meta flat. Avago slightly down. AMD flat. Robinhood flat. IWM actually kind of going up. So not much trendiness quite yet on the day. I do want to remind you that if SPX, the actual S&P 500, if it can get above this 95.66, we are in negative gamma territory. That's going to be a nice kind of potential gamma squeeze if we can start to crack some of these levels. But once again, the market makers will be assisting us if we can start to get that push, because with negative gamma, remember, as it goes higher in a negative gamma environment, that means that the market makers, especially with vol getting crushed so hard, they're going to actually they're not only going to get rid of some of their protective shorts, but they're actually going to start adding longs to basically balance out their book. So I'm liking that structure, and it's going to be quite a fight up to 6630, but even that could get crazy too. So there's two different gamma lines I'm watching that have the potential to come into play today. And obviously, as we're getting close to those levels, I'll let you know. But in reality, I've already pretty much mapped them out right here. These are all the key levels. That's why I do it every single morning. So for right now, fucking Tesla, brother. Tesla is going. Look at that, 75. All right, so we're at another key level here, 75. Remember, so there's big structural support at 70. So if you've been swinging Tesla for a second in an active trade, you might want to use 70 now as just raising your stop loss, because 70 is big support. You want to hold that. And we're now back at another battle zone between 75 up to 85. And then as of this morning's, redrawing of all the key gamma strikes. 75 to 85 is a big zone. We snap 85, pretty easy sailing, actually all the way up to 400. Some people might front run it and get out at 395, 397, 399. But I do want to let you know that actually it did crack another zone, 75 here, and your boy is making a fucking pretty penny off of it. I'm up 150%, up 18.5K, 7.9K as of today, or it just keeps going. But I've been in this for a bit. I've been in it since the 5th. I do have Tesla in my long-term investment account, but obviously this is a short-term trade for me, a swing trade. And I did a whole video breakdown on it. If you feel like you're missing out on Tesla, it's simply because either one of two things. You're either not in the Discord or you did not watch the update video. But I gave the entire breakdown and thesis right here. Tesla stock prediction, shorts are about to be destroyed. And I gave all the analysis right there. This is exactly why you should be watching those update videos, because we are now diving into more specific stock analysis. Palantir called that one properly. Tesla clearly called that one properly. Folks, we're giving this out for free. And then, of course, within the Discord, there's even more of an extensive breakdown and also more of an immediate update of when I happen to be sharing stuff. All right, so right there, I'm not liking this dive. Tesla's going. Palantir's not doing anything. Hood's taking a hit. Meta's not doing anything. Microsoft's not doing anything. All right. So Apple did pop, gave it back. Bitcoin's at 114. So the SPY was battling it out at the closing value from yesterday, seemingly failing that battle. The Qs opened above the high and the close from yesterday, got the downside gap fill, and now it seems to be taking a beeline to that closing level from yesterday. So maybe some support can come in there, but I once again cannot stress this enough. We do have an announcement at 10 a.m., so I'm not really doing anything until then. It might be a good announcement. It might not. I don't know. You're flipping a coin, but I just want to let you know Michigan's consumer sentiment, 1 year and 5 year inflation expectations all coming out at, once again, 10 a.m. today. While we're waiting for that, I do want to let you know of the most recent options update. Remember, there's all these flow bros, as Spot Gamma calls it, copyright, I guess, owned by Spot Gamma. But there's all these people on Twitter who post like big options trades and they have no idea what they're talking about. When you just post it, you don't know if it's buying to open, buying to close, selling to open, selling to close. You don't know if it's part of a spread. They don't know if it's someone rolling. They don't know if it's one market maker just dumping it off to another like market maker. What's key here is the actual change in open interest, like the net impact, rather than just individual trades. And you see this all the time. It's just engagement farming of people trying to show, here's one thing, oh, that's crazy. And what they do is it's always Monday morning quarterbacking. Seemingly they wait for a big event, then they go back and they're like, look, it's someone new, when in reality sometimes they have no idea what they're talking about. So this tool, Flow Patrol, actually breaks down the true differences. So what's kind of interesting here, right here, what traders should know: extreme SPY positioning. SPY shows a big drop in delta and also gamma, signaling strong bearish hedging. So people are hedging, but really what we're seeing is a lot of profit taking. We've been seeing that for the past week. Real estate volatility, open exhibits. So this one went crazy yesterday. This is another retail-based FOMO kind of like gamma squeeze play. It's not a short squeeze play, but it's definitely a gamma squeeze play. And then also tech gamma shift. Tesla's gamma points to potential volatility amplification. So we have a 97th percentile gamma on Tesla. So if you can get the direction right, that could be very profitable. So just want to point that out. Index positioning, remember, we care a lot more about the buying to open and the selling to open. So buying to open, IWM puts for October, SPY puts for today, SPY puts for today, SPY puts for the end of September, SPY puts for mid-October. So buying to open, there are some bets against the market now. Very important. Selling to open, selling some puts. So really, it's almost as if they're like kind of just putting bounds on it, because look also at the strike. So basically, it's adding quite a bit of positive gamma to the situation. They're selling calls above and selling puts below, if you look at like the net of it all. So especially this one right here, 650 by 620. So they're basically saying we'll be within this zone. So interesting things. Obviously, they have individual stock, they have sector breakdowns, and then just like the top changes and whatnot. So interesting to check out, but we're seeing kind of a continuation of what we saw yesterday of quote unquote hedging, but in reality that hedging was some legit hedging, but a lot of it is profit taking. As we go higher and higher and higher, you have these bigger players locking it in. But what's the most interesting is the call out in Tesla. This is not random. We have a 97th percentile gamma situation, folks. Like, that's what I don't get, is you have all these fucking like jabroni chartists of like, oh, it's a breakout, breakdown, and whatever. That's fine. That has a time and place, but you have to understand what's going on underneath. And this is a new paradigm. If you're cracking open a book and you're like, I learned this about charting in the 1970s, that's sick. And you might be able to learn something, but do you know what wasn't in the 1970s? The prolific amount of options trading we have right now. This market that we've had for the past couple of years, basically from 2020 to now, is not similar to other markets just because we did not have this much options trading. Month over month, we are hitting new records of options trading, which is dominated by zero DTE flow. So like literally the regime of the market we are in is different than anything we've ever seen. Now, just because it's different, that doesn't mean I'm saying take everything you've ever learned and throw it out the window. I'm saying take that information, but you now have to consider options flow because of how much is going up. Is Tesla squeezing? Well, in this, I would refer to this as a gamma squeeze, because what's happening is it's a negative gamma. As in we go up and up and up, the market makers need to hedge their books by buying more of the underlying because so many people are buying calls. So it becomes just a feedback loop, because the market makers are buying, it pushes it higher. Because it pushes it higher, more people are buying calls. Because more people are buying calls, it's more negative gamma. Because it's more negative gamma, especially as we go to higher and higher strikes, the market makers have to buy more and more and more. So it's just like, it's this feedback loop that pushes it higher and higher and higher. And this can cut both ways. So negative gamma, it doesn't necessarily have to be bullish. It could also happen in the like I guess, bearish direction. As it sells and sells and sells and people get into puts, they have to short and short more to protect their books, and it goes down and down and down. So it does cut both ways. So would I consider this a squeeze? Well, first of all, let's be realistic. It's up 2.5%, which is great. But I think what you have here is you have some positive narratives of Elon Musk. Well, I did the full breakdown of why this is going up. This was posted 14 hours ago. No one should be surprised about this movement. Mystic Matt pulls it off again. This movement I predicted 14 hours ago, and it's just from nerdy ass math stuff. That's what the market is. If like, I don't know. I see all these accounts that like it's showboating in one way or another, but in reality, you win at this game if you're disciplined and you stick to basic math. That's how you win at this game. 100%, no doubt in my mind, you just stick to basic math. Just do it like that. Just do it like that. But anyway, we have a 97th percentile negative gamma setup. People decided to buy. All of a sudden, that prompts the market makers to buy, and we keep going and going and going. And guess what? There's people targeting 85, and then they have long calls to 90. I could show you right here. So people sold calls at 85. That could be some resistance. We have support at 70. You have a target at 90, and you have a big target at 400. Boom, like that. You put all that together, that's exactly how you can make $21,000, a 100 LOL, 169% return. Actually, when this updates, yeah, 21K, 10K today. I like it. I've had better trades. I have worse trades, but honestly, for how I've been trading recently, I've been straying away from pure math. I've been straying away from sticking to a mechanical perfect system. And I put a lot of my own personal judgment where it's, when I say my own personal judgment, I more so mean like fucking hopium, and hopium just straight up loses you money. So it's nice for me to like kind of, well, it wasn't nice to take the beating, but to take the beating and then from there be like, dude, you either got to quit trading or you got to go back to just like pure systematic shit. And now that I went back to pure systematic shit and literally just basing my trades off pure numbers, nothing like that. Even that, you guys saw me take a hit on Netflix yesterday. It was a good setup, didn't follow through, cut it, and it fell an additional 40 points from there. With trading, you're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. The name of the game is to let your winners ride and to cut your losses very, very quickly. As we are waiting for this to play out, I do want to remind you, we are doing a Payday Friday giveaway. We are giving away 5 different Vanquish accounts. It is a sim to funded options trading account. Here's my account right here. I had one beautiful trade yesterday, made about 1.5K. Is that the right account? Yes, it is. We're giving away 5 of those today. It's free. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. This is my Twitter account. Just like, retweet, and follow. Pin to the top of chat in the description of the video. These 5 people are then going to be put into a marble race, and the winner of that race is going to get $150 of cold hard cash to take your wife, girlfriend, I don't know, hot nanny out for this weekend for a steak dinner on your boy. Oh, okay. And actually, speaking of that, I do. Oh, NQ pushed that, but got rejected. I wonder if it's gonna start to push that pre-market high once again at 24,051. SPX 90. I'm getting this order ready. Ready. How's the flow looking? Mag 7. Oh, Mag 7. Nice inverse there at 939. SPY got hit, popped. Trying to maybe pop again. Or is it going to go here? Is it going to go there? All right, let's rip it. Long 10 calls, 6590 for today. I got an average fell at 610, which means I need to get out at 760. 760. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we're actually going to get some follow through on this. My order's in. Like I said, I have 10 of these. My average fill is 610. I'm trying to make $1,500. That's what I try to do every single day. I find that's the easiest way to slowly but surely get it up to that profit target I need on this advanced count. So the order's already in. I'm already long. I already have that pending order. And why I'm doing it right now? Well, I'm looking at the Mag 7. Nice reversal at 939. I like that flow. I'm hoping the flow continues. I'm looking at the SPY. It got hit. I waited for the higher low. I'm hoping that can continue. From a technical perspective, I see inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. I'm looking at this little switch from lower highs and lower lows to a potential new high here. And basically, I'm looking for a recapture of 88, which is yesterday's close. I think that's going to be a level that people want to see the supply and demand levels at. And by the time we hit that, I should, knock on wood, be able to lock in this gain by either hitting that, or maybe I'm going to need a little bit of a slight overshoot. It depends on the time. So I'm basically waited for a bit of a pullback, and we're going to see, but I'm up 350 right now. And ideally, if this goes well, this will be my one trade on the Vanquish account for the day. Remember, we are giving away 5 of these accounts for free. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow, and then we'll do like our little raffle later. And then from there, we're doing that marble race. Tesla just keeps going. We called it out. It's a gamma squeeze. I don't know how to make this. Folks, I called this out 14 hours ago for free. It's in the Discord. For free. Well, wait, hang on. Why isn't this updating? Oh, 24K. We're about to crack 25. Do I hear 25K? Do I hear it? Do I hear it? Let's zoom in so you guys can see these numbers even better. 24.4 and climbing. You know where this gets really juicy? You know where it's going to get absurdly juicy? Is if SPX can hit 6,600. That's where the party's going to get really exciting today. That is where, look at that go. Bitcoin taking a little bit of a hit. The Russell. Did I get a fill on that? That's kind of what I was looking for. Like I said, I wanted it to retouch there. Was I fortunate enough to get a fill? I was not. It must have got within cents and I didn't shit. All right, maybe I should have only gone for like 75 cents instead of $1.50. Now I might end up relying on that 10 a.m. announcement. 50-50 shot, we're going to see. But in reality, I'm just so enamored with what's going on in Tesla right now. I know there's some people, and I don't want to dox anyone or anything, but I know there's quite a few people in the Discord who are playing this right now. If you are playing this and in the Discord, remember what we talked about yesterday. Don't trade the account. Don't simply lock it in because you're seeing these giant green numbers. Play the key levels. Play the chart. Play the price action. Play with the big guys. Don't simply be like, oh, that's a good number. I got to get out. If you are a trend following trader, the point is to follow the trend. Don't think about it as an individual trade. You need these nice trend shades to be able to pay off all those times it doesn't go your way. So if you're in the Discord, you know who you are. The whole group, we were talking about Tesla. You're playing the key levels. Play the key levels. Let it ride, let it ride, let it ride. I feel like this should be more. Why is it not? I want more money. More. So we're ideally about to crack 26K, but nice 15K, up 207%. I still have time too. I'm in the money. I have all the way till next week to do whatever the hell I want to do here. I'm just watching, at this point, I'm watching 385. At this point, I'm watching right here, 385, 390. You have some sold calls. You have some long calls. The structure is most likely changing because look at this. It's just going crazy. People are selling puts and they are buying calls. The delta is just ripping like no other. You are seeing a gamma squeeze. Folks, like you are, the degree to which this is a gamma squeeze. Remember, it's not binary. You could have big ones, you could have small ones. So like I'm hesitant to tell you this is like the biggest one ever, but what you are witnessing right now, this is a gamma squeeze. This is what happens when you get tilted into negative gamma. People continue to leverage into calls, forcing the market makers to buy more of the underlying so they can hedge out all those calls they just sold to the public. This is what happens. And then as it goes higher, then you have FOMO. So more people tilt in, causing more calls to be bought, causing the market makers to buy more of the underlying. And it just goes and goes and goes and goes. Like you're seeing it in real time. This is actually a really great real-time example of what it's like. And remember, gamma squeezes go in both directions. They could be bullish, but they could also be bearish. It's just a big feedback loop. That's how these play out. What's the next level on Tesla? 85 right here. 85, you had some sold calls. That's going to be a bit of resistance because that's positive gamma. But then you have more negative gamma at 90, and you have a lot of negative gamma at 400 because these are long calls. Long calls at 390, long calls at 400. But this was true as of market open. The structure is already shifting because people are buying more calls and they're selling more puts. So for all I know, we're tilting into even more negative gamma. How can you join the Discord? You just go and it's just in the 4 minutes from FBI press conference. They just announced. Can you send me the link, please, Chaos? Oh, you already did. My apologies. Okay, what is this? Also happening at the exact same time at 10 a.m. when this starts is here. I'm going to also, this is starting at 10 a.m. But remember, at 10 a.m. we also get the Michigan numbers. So don't be surprised about a little bit of market volatility. 1 year inflation expectations, 5 years inflation expectation, Michigan consumer expectations, Michigan consumer sentiment. Here's some lines in the sand just for everyone. But once again, that is all coming out, I guess, at the same time that we might be getting this press conference about the search for Charlie Kirk's assassin. So just want to put that out there. But for your question of how do you get into the Discord, you just go into the description of the video and there's a giant thing that says Goonie Trading Discord. You just do that. Just do that. All right. I know you guys can't. I'll just play the audio in my headphone for now, just so you don't have to hear random. Dude, Tesla's fucking going, dude. Look at that motherfucker. 28K. Folks, get into the Discord. Or just watch the free videos or do the, I don't know, like the fact that it could be called out so perfectly beforehand. And then you have people who are like, well, I don't know. Got Tesla yesterday when you told chat it was going to boom. Thank you, bro. Hey, it's all you. Did I get this, Phil? Almost. It was almost there. I'm up 650 on these SPX calls. Remember, I'm trying to lock in 1,500. That's the goal. And then I could shut down my Vanquish account for the day. So we are about halfway there. And what's better than that is we've recaptured the closing value. I want this to hold. Then I want to test 93. Then I want to see 6,600. I'm a man with the plan. And that is the exact plan I am looking for. And I'm also looking for this to crack 30K on Tesla. Looking for this to crack 30K. Dude, I need this win so fucking bad. I've been on a bad beat lately. A bad beat. All right, we're at that next level, 85. Next one is 90. Right here. But honestly, it could now even be higher because look at this flow. The gamma squeeze has not stopped. Like I am in real time showing you the gamma squeeze. This is it. This isn't just fucking luck or conjecture. This is math. This is what is happening. People are buying calls. When they buy calls based on the delta value, the market makers have to hedge it out. That's how much shares they have to buy of the underlying. As it goes higher and higher and higher, they're buying more and more and more, which is causing it to go higher, which is causing people to FOMO in and buy more calls of themselves because people don't want to miss out. And at this point, if you can hold 85, you're looking at 90. If we can hold 90, you're looking at 400. At 400, that's going to be massive resistance. Massive resistance. All right. It's time for me to start screenshotting and talking shit. We're at that point in the show where I need to screenshot my gains instead of locking them in so I can talk mad shit to people. Mad shit. 4-minute warning. All right, so I guess this is starting in 4 minutes. Who else? I need to talk shit to a lot of people. Got to talk a lot of shit. All right, I'm firing this off. Lots of group chats here. Dude, mad shit. I'm talking mad shit right now. Who else should I? You guys want to be put in these text groups where I just talk shit? All we do is basically say horrendous shit to each other. Thanks for the daily free game. Learned a lot from the show. Jay, shout out, man. I hope you're crushing it. Please talk yo shit. It's honestly the only thing that keeps me going is the ability to talk shit. Hey, locked it in. Dingity ding ding ding. 1.5K locked in daily realized P&L. So that's my trade of the day here on obviously Vanquish. Remember, Vanquish sim-funded options trading. So we're giving away 5 of those accounts today, and it's free for everyone to enter. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. You have to do all 3 of those things. Like, retweet, and follow. It feels like 89 of you figured out how to do it. Like, retweet, and follow. And 20% off if you want to buy an account yourself right here. Use that code Goonie, 20% off. And if you do the advanced options, you have 50% discount on those options, advanced options resets. All right, very quickly, this is about to become important because you have about 45 seconds left. We ran into an issue here at 86, 87. So overshooting that support at 85. Remember, 85 is another key level here on Tesla. 85 right there. But what's about to happen is a little bit more exciting because we're about to get Michigan numbers. And remember, these Michigan reports are kind of political. They've made it clear that they don't like Trump. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have some hot numbers coming in here, but we're about to be finding out in 15 seconds. So Michigan consumer sentiment and 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations. We're watching for that reaction. I'm hoping it's bullish. I'm hoping it brings us up to 6,600 because that would be the fun day. And 3, 2, 1. Which way is it gonna? Oh, fuckers. Come on, recover. What were the numbers? 4.8, 3.9. They increased it. Expectations dropping, sentiment dropping. So Michigan dropped their expectations, dropped their sentiment, increased their 5-year, and held steady their 1-year. Increased it from 3.5 to 3.9. Well, hopefully the market can quickly shrug that off and realize, I don't know why the market reacts to it so much. Like, I think the Michigan numbers are really stupid. It's well known that they're hyper political. This is not a non-political, unbiased reporting group. So I'm not really sure why the stock market as a whole considers it so much, but nonetheless, it does. And you can see that it, in the short term, can cause some issues. So let's hope that the market can quickly recover and just ideally buy this dip. I feel very fortunate that I locked in my gain before that happened. I feel very, very fortunate. But anyway, that is what just happened. So if you're wondering, hey man, why 30 seconds? What the fuck? I'm hoping this just sets up a higher low. Hopefully there's buyers setting up right here at the previous closing value and we get this test of 93. So I'm hoping, see how we had lower highs and lower lows, like all these green and red carrots switching. Now we have higher highs and higher lows. I'm hoping that this dip here at 10 a.m. is just another higher low. We have a higher low. We have a higher low. I'm hoping this is a higher low. And basically, I don't want us to violate the 952 low. I want to hold this price, bounce right off of here. It is a key level. It's a technical level. It is the closing value from yesterday. I want to see a higher low, a bounce. We take out this high at 90.74. We go to 92.89, and then we push to 6,600. That is what I am looking for. Past my eval yesterday that I won. Thanks. Apex gets more of my monies. Congrats on passing, Mike. Congrats. Folks, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications if you like this free live trading show where sometimes I make money and other times my money gets taken from me. Tesla just keeps going and your boy just keeps printing. 32K. Fuck, brother. 31.7. Now I'm poor. All right. So we need to set up an important reversal here on Tesla. I need to know if this breaks down. All right, we're going to add that alert. And then I also want to set an alert at 90, add alert. Okay, we're going to add an alert at also 95. I need to be on the ball today. Don't want to piss off the wife and told her I somehow botched this. But also on that note, if I somehow fuck this play up and give all the money back, or worse, lose money, if you guys could help me out and not tell my wife. Some of you recently have felt it incumbent upon yourself to kind of let my wife know when I'm like specifically a dipshit degenerate. Not cool. What happens on the stream stays on the stream. So in the event that I fuck this up, mum's the word. I don't go telling your wife when you fuck up. I don't do that. Come on. Dude, take half. Meat eater. There's a reason why I'm on this side of the camera and you're on that side of the camera. I happen to not take advice from random chats based on if you have math to suggest why I should take it here, let me know. But if you're just saying it because of a big green number, no. I see retail traders do this all the time. Retail traders love to take money because it's a big green number. Why? Give me the math. Give me the reasoning beyond just hey.
Governor Cox.
All right, this press conference
FBI
is going.
Director Kash Patel and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Whoa.
On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings. Those those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I'll share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital O-W-O, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point."
Holy
Up
fuck.
arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
What?
We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I'll now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play. We will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where, at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect.
Calls being
we also
sold.
released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly, and I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Dude, so fucking sad. This is so...
Thank you.
This is so...
Good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets, our local
higher
team
highs,
here, our
lower
FBI
lows,
has
a little
been
bit of an expansion
extraordinary
pattern
in
right
helping
now.
us work through this
Tag
and bring
the
this
closing
person to
value again,
justice.
finding equilibrium.
Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you everybody that has stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response.
Mag
to this.
7 still ripping. SPY did rip, dumped, maybe bottoming here. We don't know.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General
Tesla's
and the
still
Department of
ripping.
Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go
Palantir's
from
going.
here. I don't want to get too preachy, but
Whoa,
I think it's important
big
that we,
pop in Palantir.
with eyes
Someone
wide
bought a
open,
bunch of
understand
calls.
what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals.
Q's breaking out.
This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence.
New all-time high for the
lots of different
NASDAQ.
reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed,
Apple's going.
of expression, that freedom of expression
Meta's going.
that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words
SPY
that pulled me back.
is ripping back up.
I'd like to
Delta.
share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think
Tesla's
we need
going
more
again.
moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that
Holy
words are
fuck,
violence.
that's ripping.
Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way
37,000. Do I hear 50?
I thought it would make it easier on us.
Do I hear 50K a day?
Hey, we don't do that here.
298%.
And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last two nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils.
Upside Gapsel 40134. Upside Gapsel 40134 on Tesla.
That, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He said, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that.
Governor,
you probably beat the shit out of him. Rightfully so, by the way.
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, so you talked about this level of hatred that this person expressed at a dinner. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you've discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific act?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
Can you tell more about the family, what they had to say about the suspect?
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. Those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southernmost, southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him.
Is he talking more about what the family is saying about Tyler Robinson?
I can't share any more than what I've already shared.
Is he talking about
Governor, do you have
authorities?
details on how he got back to Washington County and how the gun was obtained?
So how we obtained the gun? The gun was found.
How the shooter obtained the gun and how the shooter then was able to get back to Washington.
So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a voting?
I'm sorry?
Did the suspect plan to carry out any other attacks?
We don't have any information that
Are you
released.
going to be releasing the mugshot?
Yes, in fact, it was just released.
Is he
Yes.
talking with authorities and did
It was just released.
I can't answer that right now.
Can you clarify?
You've spoken very eloquently about trying to reunite this country. Do you feel that this is a watershed in American history?
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s. And having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets, we are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together, the Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there. But this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off-ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us, led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits? Could
Correct.
you just clarify this?
Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here.
You said that the suspect was from Utah. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where, and was he a student here at this university, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I would just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that. Basically, we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
All right, I think that is it. Good. They got the fucker. Scumbag. It's actually mean to scumbags. He's lower than that. All right, I believe it is over, but they caught him. That is awesome. And they did it very quickly. SPY is going flat right now. The S&P 500 is hanging out just between the high from yesterday and the close from yesterday. So hoping 87 can hold, looking for that breakout of 93, looking for the first battle at 6,600. That's what I'm looking for in the S&P 500. The NASDAQ is rip nonstop. My next major gamma level is actually all the way up here at 88, and we're trading at 86. So my next, hey, potential gamma, that type of thing here in the Qs, $2 higher than where we currently are. If you're trading NQ, that's equivalent to about another 80 points, which would put us at 24,160. Tesla's looking good. It broke that level. Things are kind of flattening out. They're not dipping. Well, a little bit of a baby dip. But basically we rip, and then starting around 1026, a little bit of calmness here, a little bit of profit taking, zero DTE profit taking, which I think is to be expected when you end up ripping 6%. So I would love for 90 to hold. I know that's very close. So really, I'm looking for 85 to hold. And I'm eyeing up that key technical, psychological, and open interest level of 400. But from a technical perspective, there is an upside gap fill at 401.34. And if by some insane turn of events we break that today, the next thing I'm watching is the next technical level at 420. But obviously, I should let you know the odds of that are low. Is it impossible? No, but the odds are very low just because of the amount of profit taking, the time of the day, the way markets just function in a general sense. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would love that test of 400, 401, seemingly not that far away. I would like for the SPY. So obviously we see the bell of the ball right now is actually tech. Ever since 939, higher highs, higher lows, had a nice dip opportunity here at 1015. If you bought that breakout at 1018-ish, risking that recent low, at this point, you'd probably either move your stop to break even or the 1030 low. But SPY really hasn't done anything. The flow itself has been weird on the SPY. Very, very strange on the SPY. Recently, we've been seeing a little bit of call selling, but more so of put buying starting at 1026. So as of right now, the SPY is on a relative basis very much like evidently weaker, but it's just this awkwardness here of, are we holding the closing value? Are we going to break 93? But overall, it's just, we're not moving in the S&P 500 while we are very much moving in the NASDAQ. So tech sector is looking good. I'm hoping that the SPY can catch the memo. Maybe a little bit of a rotation. We're seeing the Russell get hit. There might be a rotation from small cap into tech. I mean, they're literally polar opposites right now. So that could be a bit of an explanation. We'll know that a little bit more clearly when the market settles and we can review all of the full day's data, but just a little bit of conjecture right now. With respect to equities, Tesla's destroying. It's up 5.77%. Palantir's also looking pretty good. Apple's looking pretty good. Those are the three strongest trending ones of the day. Even Microsoft's putting in a decent movement, so we should move that up. Nvidia looks like it might break here. Meta, not too much. Avago, not too much. Hood, decent bounce. So yeah, Tesla looking awesome, little bit of a breather right now. Palantir already took its breather, looking to flatten out. Apple just keeps going, and Microsoft looks like it wants to break as well. You know what we're going to do is we're going to do the old switcheroo here. We're going to mark out that high, that low. Palantir, let's mark out this high. 67 would be a nice break if we can get above and hold above 167, and then especially 169 on Palantir. Apple just keeps going. What's the daily chart on Apple? Apple, nice upside gap fill, continuation. That's a beautiful valley buy right there. Risk is the recent low. Target's 241 and a break. So I have no Apple play, but if you played that, obviously congrats to you. Microsoft maybe breaking out, shoulder, head, shoulder. You kind of need that follow through above 512. Nvidia, kind of in no man's land. Meta, kind of in no man's land. Broadcom, not doing much. Hood, not doing much on the daily chart. Netflix still getting hit. MicroStrategy flat. Coin tried to get going, but it's because Bitcoin stalled out. I was really hoping for 117-ish today, 150. Maybe it comes over the weekend, obviously. We'll find out. We will find out. Avago, Hood, Netflix, MSTR, Coin, BITX, Rum is getting hit, DJT is flat, Ripple not much, Solana's going. Solana's really going. TLT bonds taking a bit of a breather. Oil chilling at 63. Gold not far from an all-time high. VIX is getting destroyed again. And then ETH is winding up, potentially making a move right now. We popped, we pulled back flat. We might see an accumulation leading to a bit of a distribution. I have no position on ETH, but if you do, as a bull, that is actually looking pretty solid right now. Here's the larger picture of the market. Not much on the daily. Intraday, we're basically, I guess at this point, you could be watching for that trend line breakout or this trend line breakdown. You could be watching that triangle right there and then targeting kind of these extremes. That's kind of it for the market. Tesla, you have a bit of profit taking. Apple's chilling. Palantir might be lifting back up. The NASDAQ is still strong. which makes me believe that this will break to the upside just because we see a continuation and there is a high correlation between the NASDAQ and the SPY. But the SPY, I mean, the Qs are 0.34%. The SPY's break even. Bit strange if you ask me. Bit strange if you ask me, but yeah, we've had a good 10 minutes of profit taking on Tesla. Hopefully this can chill soon. Maybe it just consolidates during lunch, and then I'm looking for another higher distribution into close. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but that would be very, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, we're at that time. We might as well do the giveaway now just because things are slowing down. So if you haven't already, you still have some time. But shout out to Vanquish. Use that code Goonie to get 20% off. But it is a TGIF, happy payday Friday type of a situation. So we're about to give away 5 of these accounts. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. I'll give you another 1 or 2 minutes to figure out how to do it. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Like, retweet, and follow. All you have to do is those 3 steps, and you will have a shot. Then these 5 people are also going to be put into a marble race where the winner of that will get $150 of cold hard cash, and it's all going down pretty much now. Let me get some things ready, but you have a little bit of time to get this figured out if you haven't done it already. Like I said, it is free for everyone, but I'm gonna stall it out. Marbles. I'm going as slow as I can to give you guys more time, but it is pinned to the top of chat. It is in the description of the video. Let's see. All right, we got marbles. All right, we don't need that. Continue. Okay, cool. So that is ready. That is ready. That is ready. That is ready. All right, I hope you guys had enough time to do it. I hope you did. I don't quite need this. Exit without saving. All right. The large buyers thus far today are actually perfectly flat. That's interesting to me. So we might keep that up to pay attention to it. What is it? Twitter picker. All right, Twitter picker. The old Twitter picker. All right. This is the tweet. Close pop-up. All right. And you have to like and retweet. We're going to do 5 winners. And obviously I said you also have to follow. Pretty easy instructions. If you didn't follow them, that is on you. Like, retweet, and then follow. All right. So the 5 people who are about to be selected, you are going to be getting a Vanquish account for free. Let's roll it in 3, 2, 1. Da 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 da. All right. Standing up red, that F guy, Elon Muskie, Joel G, and J Rod. Here are our 5 winners. Congrats to you. Standing up red, that F guy, Bot, Joel, and then, whoa, J Rod with a very, very long name there. So congrats. You've already now all won a Vanquish account, but one of you, the fastest marble racer in all the land, is about to win $150 of cold, hard cash. So very quickly, just so I don't lose this list, I should screenshot it just in case we have technical difficulties or something like that. I just want to capture this list really quickly, see what's what, see who's who, and let me capture that. All right. Downloads. All right. Let me save that just so I have it. And then also, all right, racing. We're going to do a random map, hard landing. Let me get all the competitors up here, add names. All right. So the first one is standing up red. The next one is that F guy, Elon Muskie. We have Joel, and we have J Rod. All right, these are our 5 competitors. All right, we got that. We got that. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. All right, let's get that. All right. Let's get rocking over here. Let's get rocking over here. Now, as we always do, before we get racing today, remember, this is prison rules. As in, all that matters is if you win. Winner take all, no other questions. So with that in mind, who do you think is going to win? With that in mind, who do you think is going to win this race? Are you putting all your money behind that F guy, Joel, J-Rod, Elon Muskie, or stand up red? If you had to put your net worth on one of these fine competitors, who's really telling you that, like, hey, they've been practicing. They're ready for this. We have a couple votes for J-Rod. I'm surprised that there's not more votes for that F guy. Muskie's coming in. Guy has the nicest backyard. Joel. No one will win. Oh, that's an interesting bet. All right, they're all going to die. Well, we're going to find out. All right. Let's get ready. Let's see who's going to be able to go out on a... Whoa. Let's see who's going to be able to go on a date night. Let's see. Let's go. All right, let's count it down. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see who gets the drop. Who's going to get the first drop? Everyone's going. Don't get sick here. Everyone's trying to get the first drop. And who is it? Stand Up Red? Guy? I don't know. Joel's right there. Who's going to drop? Who's making the first move? Who's making the first? Dude, this is kind of making me nauseous. I'm not going to lie. This was not the best view. Standing Up Red got the first move. All right. And he even caught the speed up. Who's behind him? Elon Muskie, but Standing Up Red made a good move. He's going through the bouncy platform. Can he catch the second speed up? He does, and he catches the third one. He has not missed one yet. What the fuck? Ran into a little bit of a... Dude, this is his race to lose, folks. He catches one. He's only made one misstep this entire race. The closest... Elon Muskie's all the way back here. Oh, he's making a move, though. Oh, it's anyone's race. Elon Muskie Standing Up Red. Who's going to make a move to the end? Who's going to do it? Oh, Joel! What the fuck, Joel? Out of nowhere, Joel! Brother! What the fuck, Joel? Joel just went fucking insano mode there. Joel! What, brother? Joel just went pure steroids and Trent and said, fuck this, dude. What, dude? Joel, congratulations. Wow. Dude, he hit the NOS perfectly. That's exactly it. Congratulations, Joel. Valiant effort by Standing Up Red and also Elon Muskie. J-Rod and that F guy have not finished. J-Rod got fourth. That F guy, I guess he's busy effing someone, but he's not winning the race. Joel, what, Joel? Just ripping the NOS there. Ripping the NOS. That's impressive. It is. Joel, I will be reaching out to you. Oh, and you know what else is ripping the NOS? Apparently, the S&P 500 is now waking up and wants to play. A little bit of a technical breakout intraday. Look for it to take out 92, followed by 93, and then we are waiting for the battle at 6,600. The NASDAQ is still going. Palantir's continuing to pick up. I'm loving it, holding 167. Next level is 169 of options importance. Tesla ripped to 94. It's trying to hold 89. Honestly, I'm surprised we've gotten this far today. Palantir's now going. Apple's taking a bit of a breather. Microsoft's looking good. Nvidia's looking good. Meta's doing nothing. Broadcom might be picking up. Hood is flat. Oh, shoot. We can't play that. All right. Let's just see. So the SPY took out the recent high. So we do have higher highs and higher lows. We're looking for the intraday high, taking us to yesterday's high. And the Qs just keep going. Like I said, my next gamma level on QQQ is all the way up to 588. So $1.70-ish left from here. Palantir's looking good. Let's see if we could hold that breakout. I would love for Tesla to hold this recent low, pick back up above 90.40 and push 94. And let's see if we could get this. Let's see if this puppy rips to 400. Dude, Joel, what is Joel's diet? What did Joel possibly do? He had to dig so deep within himself to pull that off. Like, serious, fucking Joel. God damn, what a rip that was, buddy. What a rip that was. I cannot. That's just nuts to me. Absolutely nuts to me. Absolutely nuts. Well, we're going to see how this gets going. Bullish, 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 bullish. The Nasdaq is very bullish right now. Very bullish. The SPY, we're coiling up, but is it going to get the break? It's definitely leaving a little bit to be desired for sure. Leaving a little bit to be desired. Even that, we're not getting that follow through. Here's a look at Tesla. Like I said, we had some profit taken. Things are settling down over there. Would love to see an afternoon pickup. Mag 7 also settling down in general, even though it keeps grinding higher. And then the SPY calls just came in. We're just not getting that follow through. From 9:45 to 9:51, we had 6 minutes of the delta really popping. We just unfortunately didn't get the nice price follow through as of now. But hey, maybe it's coming in a little bit. Maybe it's coming in a little bit. All right, let's go to the 5 minute on this. Palantir's looking good. Palantir's looking good. All right, congratulations to all the winners. All 5 of you will be getting a Vanquish account. I'll be reaching out to you, but make sure you follow Vanquish so they can DM you so you could get set up. And then obviously, Joel, I'll specifically be DMing you to send you that cold hard cash today. Obviously, a shout out to Vanquish if you want to get an account with them, which I think they're sick. I just locked in 1.5K myself. Use that code Goonie, 20% off. And now the advanced option reset fees, if you don't do well on your first test, are 50% cheaper. So make sure to use that code Goonie. All right, let's switch this over to the 5 minute. All right, picking up, dude. Look at that battle. We are setting up for a battle of the ages at 6,600, even 6,610-ish. Like this, that's a lot of positive gamma. That's a lot of positive gamma, folks. Folks, that's so much. Right there. Look at that. 6,600. A 97.5 percentile positive gamma reading. Wow. All right. We're getting a little bit of a technical breakout. We took out this high. We're now going for the high from yesterday. We just took out the intraday high. The next battle is 93. And after that, your real battle. This is where it starts. Folks, this is what you practice for. This is why you hit the weight room. It's right here. X marks the spot. This is the battle. Hopefully the SPY picking up gives some juice to Tesla to keep going. But overall, I'm sitting pretty. My Tesla calls are up 36,000. My SPY calls are up 28,000. And my Palantir calls are up 1,800. The things that are not looking good for me right now are my IWM calls and my Bitcoin calls. Those are both in the red. Not dramatically, but they could definitely look better. But obviously, those disgusting gains that I have greatly outweigh what I'm currently down on those other ones. Stumper, Matt, I appreciate all you do. You're a good man. Stumper, that's so incredibly kind of you. Damn, that's so nice of you. That's so nice. All right, folks, we're looking here. We're looking. Actually, I want to know if Tesla's going to take out 390.60. Let's take out that high. Palantir, try to get going. There's a big PLTR. There's a gamma level at 169, and we just kind of undershot that 168. So something to watch. Something to watch. All right, we're going to set up some alerts. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything, you know? All right, we have all the important things. Apple's still looking good, yes. Microsoft's still looking good. Look for it to get above 512. That's a big daily breakout. Nvidia's looking good. Meta's looking good. Even Avago put in a higher low. Hood's still going flat. Fuck Netflix. MSTR is picking up. Is Bitcoin picking up? Bitcoin's catching a bit of a bid there. All right, we're at this point where it's getting a little bit closer to that lunchtime where we're not expecting that much. We're expecting a little bit of a breather here, there, and everywhere. So because of that, let's not get too crazy. Remember, big money comes from big trends. Let's hope that this isn't a fake out breakout here. I'm looking for a base to get created. We took out 93. Like I said, 6,600 is going to be the big battle. That's what I'm looking for. Will it happen? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but I can tell you momentum, price structure, and options flow are looking pretty decent at the moment. Options flow could look better. Well, it just ripped there out of nowhere. What the fuck? Oh, wow. Okay, so starting at 10:45, there was quite a bit of call buying. 0 DTE call buying. That's a lot of 0 DTE flow. So something to keep in mind. But folks, it's Friday and we have a little bit of extra time and I don't mind going over. Is there any questions? You have questions on Vanquish, on Apex, on Take Profit Trader, on Tradeify, on the Goonie Trading Discord, on options flow, on Gamma, on Delta, on Spot Gamma, on Bookmap, on a chart breakdown, on how I see the market, the state of my current positions, what's on your mind? Let's do a little bit of an office hour, a little bit of an AMA. If there's questions, great, we'll do them. And if not, that's all right too. Matt, what are your thoughts on Texas Roadhouse changing their logo? I didn't even know they were changing their logo. And the last couple companies that tried to change their logo has not gone well. Best way to start trading options, paper count, without a doubt. Then from there you go sim to funded, and then from there you go to your own funded account. When kids, I have no idea. What is life? 42. How many payouts have you gotten from Apex? A lot. Over $250,000 worth. Is Megan pregnant? We don't talk about Megan. How do you backtest? I either use Python or I use NinjaTrader or I use TradeStation. Gamma on BTC and alts. I don't have a way to measure that because there's not really a prolific options market. The gamma levels relate to like options. And right now it's just like, you could use IBIT, you could use BITX, but they're really not like that prolific. I have a question. Why? I have an answer. Why not? Matt, if you were to short open for the gap down, what expiration would you choose? I wouldn't short it until I see volume exhaustion, first red day, and also the first close below the previous close. So I would be very, very patient on it because it is squeezing. It's gamma squeezing. Are the rules easy to follow on Apex? I think so, once you know them. And I do have a full video breaking down what the rules are on the secondary Evergreen channel. Do you think the 4-year crypto bull cycle is a thing of the past? I do not. I think the moves will be less muted, but I don't think it's a thing of the past because a lot of those things happen to become self-fulfilling prophecy. Do you believe that Tesla run will last into next week? It depends on the gamma change. I take it day by day. Every single market close, every single market open, I review the newest gamma structure. From yesterday to today, I gave you the review of like, okay, that was the gamma structure yesterday. And like, you have to intake the new information. So the stronger this is, I think the market really does want to get the upside test of 400 and that upside gap fill of 401. Tradeivate or wealth charts. I use Tradeivate. I can't say anything positive or negative about wealth charts. I just haven't used it, but I do like Tradeivate. Do you have any videos explaining how Vanquish works? Yes, coming out Monday is my first Vanquish video. So make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. How do you see him run by the end of the year? No idea. My analysis on RUM is multiple years out. I just haven't done a short-term breakdown. Do you mean when you say catching a bid? Oh, catching a bid as in people are buying it up. Like there's more aggressive buyers than sellers, so it's getting a bit of a pop. So like people are bidding it hard, like aggressively trying to buy. Where do you see relative resistance at NQ? $1.50. So that would be 60 points. What is 60? So basically 24175, roughly. What else do you have? What else? What are the gamma levels on Apple? On old Apple. All right, Apple's flow has been strong all day, and the gamma levels as of market open are what's Apple trading at? 234. 234. Okay, 235 is resistance. It has another $1 to go. If you can get over that, you're watching 240. Big support at 230. So 230 is big support. You're trying to break 235. Target is 240. Reach target is 250. Probably not going to happen today, but maybe next week. What else do you have? Would you advise fully funded traders starting with like $1,000 or sim to funded is a better option? My advice is everyone should start with paper trading. No risk, just learn the mechanics, learn a little bit of the emotions, learn how to use your platform, execute trades, kind of get into the cycle of paying attention to it for whatever time frame you care about. Then from there, go to sim to funded, just because it gives you a little bit of skin in the game, but it lowers your risk. And then when you're confident there, then going on. It is It's very, very difficult for right now because of pattern day trading to be that successful with a $1,000 account unless you are kind of a longer duration swing trader. And even there with $1,000, you're probably going to be doing a lot more of spreads than you will long premium, like straight up long premium. So you'd have to really kind of dive into the nuances of spread trading rather than like as in like you're simultaneously buying a call and selling a call at two different strikes, most likely for the same expiration. So something to consider there. But $1,000 is tough. It's not impossible, but it does make it more difficult. It is in a backwards type of a world. It's actually the more money you have in an account, the easier it is to make money. As much as like we're all allegedly allowed to have access to the free and open capital markets, you do get certain privileges the more money you have. For example, above $25,000, you don't have to deal with pattern day trading. And then there's many, many examples like that. The bigger and bigger your account goes. The bigger and bigger your account goes. What do you hear in the headphones you have on? Just basically the voices in my head. Mac or iPhone to start sim trading? I don't know if it really matters. I mean, I prefer a computer. I just use my phone for like checking alerts and whatnot. But it depends what type of trading you do. You could literally pull it off on as a swing trader, you could easily just pull it off on your phone. As an active trader, like if you're day trading and scalp trading, you probably want either a Mac or a PC. Probably a PC would be a little bit better just because they're going to naturally be a bit more robust. Do you ever play swings 9 to 12 months on boomer stocks in the shitter like UPS? No. If I'm doing that distance, I'm probably doing even longer. I've never done like leaps 9 or 12 months out. It's just not what I've studied. I'm not saying you can't make money doing it. It's just not my bread and butter. Trade with a cash account if you want to bypass the pattern day trader rule. Well, you can't just say it like that because then you have to still worry about the free roll violation. Like there's other rules if you're trading on a cash account. I don't really recommend a cash account. If you are a person who trades small and you're disciplined and you're not trading that much, yeah, maybe a cash account works. But I find for retail traders, it's better to trade on a margin account. Obviously, there's certain people that trade in different styles. And yeah, maybe a cash account is better if you're below 25K, but it's not like evidently clear that a cash account is the account to do. Most people are better off on a margin account. Do you ever consider selling covered calls against your long-term investment account? Yes, I do. For those of you who don't know what covered call selling is, it's basically for every 100 shares you have of the underlying, such as like Apple, Tesla, whatever, you could sell one call against it. And it's just what it does is it earns passive income and it just puts a limit on your profit. So the downside is not you losing money. The downside is if in that period that you sold a call and your underlying rips, your profits would be capped. Do you like to trade Michaels like MES or MNQ with $1,000 account? No. I should, but I'm a little bit too risk accepting to do that. But my trading would probably be better if I did do that. So that's the difference between like mathematically, what is the better option versus psychologically, what do you want to do? And in that particular question, I should be doing that. It's just my degenerate psychology that stops me from doing it. Do you think we should ever use potatoes as national currency? I haven't thought about it to this moment, but you bring up an interesting topic. Are you still holding JEPQ? No, I think I just switched that over to QQQQ or maybe TQQQQ. I think I switched it to still tech, but more leverage. I'd have to double check. If I did that, it was a while ago. There's a middle level pro called Pickle. There's a middle level pro. What? What program do you use covered calls on? Any good brokerage will allow you to do it. Public allows you to do it. Webull allows you to do it. I think Robinhood allows you to do it. If you have a company or a brokerage that doesn't allow you to do covered calls, go to a different one. Do you stay live after 11 a.m. for a fee? Yeah, I assume all of you, every single minute that I stay live after 11, I assume you guys are like sending in $1 per minute. That's my fee. Everyone should be sending me $1 every single minute that I'm here. Oh, he's talking about Spot Gamma. I mean, I use the highest tier on Spot Gamma, but that's because I truly believe it is the best options analytics tool available to retail traders. I use it literally every single day. I mean, Okay, when I look at the fee of like how much it costs, how much it doesn't cost, I mean, because of the data I got on Spot Gamma, I am up $36,000 on Tesla. I'm up $25,000 on SPX. I'm up 50 grand on these two plays alone that I got in at the start of September. So like it's paid for itself a shitload times over. I have Fidelity accounts. Any downside to using their options? I think Fidelity doesn't allow you to trade 0DTs if that's something you're interested in. That's the only thing. I think you have to have over like $1 million in Fidelity to do 0DT SPX in a retirement account. But other than that, they're all pretty competitive at this point. I joined the Discord. Awesome. Do you follow trading system? The days I'm trading well, I do. The days I'm trading well, I most certainly do. Speaking of which, I don't know why Icarus hasn't fired. I wonder if there's a bug, but this has not fired at all today. Or maybe it's just... I thought it should have fired once. It should have fired at 10:10 on the break at 24,050, and it should have locked in at 60. So I thought it should have traded one time today, but it hasn't. So I need to look into that. You can trade SPX 0DT and Fidelity in a retirement account. Yeah, if you have enough money. Tesla alert. Oh, Tesla might be swinging back up. So it looks like we can confirm an official higher low here at 1040. So trying to break that high, obviously targeting 394, 395. Did you make Icarus? Yes. When you cry in the shower, do you also pee in the shower? No. Those are two separate events. It does not take more than a day or two to settle trades, but money is available immediately. Well, kind of. That's the margin part, is because they give you that money while it's waiting to be settled. So that's hence the margin. They're giving you money to trade that's technically not freed up yet. That's the whole, which cash settled is a little bit different, but also options settle faster than equities. So there's some nuances to these questions. When's the next AI video coming out? No clue, dude. Ask my producer. Delta, Van, and Gamma models included on Spot Gamma. Yeah. Thoughts on using Webull? I think public is the best place to trade options by far because no other one gives you a rebate. Like just purely mathematical, financial. If your goal in the market is to make more money, regardless of how you're trading, you will be better off on public. Just no other one gives you a rebate. Does slippage mess you up a lot? Yes. Not only in my trading career, but also in my life. Slippage, fucking borderline bane of my existence. Just looking up things I'm still learning and researching. What hobbies do you have outside of trading? Stair stepping, playing with my cat. I said maybe catching shrimp on old school RuneScape. That's pretty much it. I have an awesome cat named Piper. I stair step a lot, and I catch shrimp on old school RuneScape. That's what I do to decompress. Not necessarily in that order, and not necessarily together, but also sometimes at the same time. But no, my life is pretty fully dedicated to trading, and sometimes when I think about that, it makes me depressed. It makes me think, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Okie dokie, artichokes. That's it. Questions are slowing down. We hit the high from yesterday. I called that out as a level. We got rejected. We still have higher lows, though. This afternoon, maybe post-lunch, I'm looking for the official battle at 6,600. Right there. If it is successful, I'm looking at 6,615. If that is successful, I'm looking at 6640. If we get like kind of that Friday blow off top, I've noticed, and I not just noticing it, I've crunched the numbers on it. Fridays tend to be one of two. They tend to be either A, nothing, and like you hit lunch and everything gets range bound and then there's no point in being in the market, or they can be absolutely nuts. Fridays tend to not really be an in-between type of a day. As of now, it does seem like this is setting up to be a boring ass lunch because it's already been boring all day. But hey, people can start trading and causing like pandemonium and chaos at any moment. So maybe we will get that crazy afternoon. But these are the levels due to price momentum, price structure, options flow. I am bullish. I've given you my levels. I've also put my money where my mouth is. I'm up 36K on Tesla. I'm up 25K on SPY. And I'm up a fat $1,000 on Palantir. Currently down on Bitcoin and currently down on the Russell. So that's where I'm at. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. And if you kind of want more of real-time analysis of my positions and my reasoning and my thoughts, or if you need assistance in any general sense, that's exactly what the Goonie Trading Discord is for. You can find the link for that in the description of the video. What is your step record on the stair stepper? I just hit it. Where the fuck is it? I even took picture proof. So for all my fellow stair steppers out there, I think you'll appreciate this, but I just hit my all-time record stair stepping. I don't know if you can fully see that. It says 230 flights in 41 minutes. So 230 flights. Each flight is 16 steps. So I did 230 times 16 in 41 minutes. 16 times 230. So I did 3,680 steps in 41 minutes. So I was doing 90 steps every minute for 41 minutes straight. One of these days, I'm just getting ready for when it's put into the Olympics. Like, I'm just prepping. I have no indication whatsoever that this ever will be an Olympic sport, but just on the off chance that this becomes like a competitive sport, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. I'm 100% preparing just in case my nation calls upon me and they're like, Matt, all these fucking Russians think that they're better at stair stepping than us in America. They're calling us all fat fucks. Like, show them wrong that you can stair step. I'm just getting ready for that. I'm getting ready for the moment that my nation needs me and I just show those commie bastards what's up. I'm like, nah, we're stair steppers over here. You're not a stair stepper. So maybe it happens. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I have for you. Happy Friday. Happy Payday Friday. We'll be posting an update video on Sunday. Like, subscribe, all that engagement truly helps out. And once again, we're kind of pivoting. We are kind of pivoting just for feedback from you guys. We are kind of pivoting the update videos to not really be whole market update videos because it does seem as if you guys are a little bit more interested in specific stock breakdowns. So that's what we're kind of doing. Palantir, Tesla. So basically, let us know what stocks you guys care about the most. Comment it in these videos, and we'll start doing individual analysis of technicals, of options flow, of gamma, and of the news. But we're a little bit of a pivot because it seems like you guys are a bit more interested in specific names rather than the general picture, which we are cool with. Our job here is to make content that you guys are the happiest to watch and you find to be the most useful for your own trading journey. So if you want to check out the Palantir breakdown, it's there. If you want to check out the Tesla breakdown, it is there. And then in these videos, if you want a different one, if you're like, yo, I love Nvidia, yo, I love Microsoft, whatever it is, comment it in those videos. And obviously we read everything. So I just wanted to call that out. Shout out to Vanquish. Don't forget to join the Goonie Discord if you want to. And have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. I hope you make a fuckload of money. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.